not have the confidence for anything of that sort. Another question has to do with early childhood. Early childhood education is absolutely something we have to pay attention to. But as Pallam Raju ji has pointed out, where is the capacity in Anganwadi centers? More than 3 lakh Anganwadi centers do not have toilets. Nearly 1.5 lakhs don't have drinking water. And of course, the Anganwadi workers and helpers receive a monthly honorarium of 4,500 rupees and 2,250 rupees respectively. They have been agitating, and instead of alleviating their concerns, what are we trying to do here? We're trying to put even more burdens on them, a group that is not trained for education, they are trained for something else. And if breakfast is also going to be served, where are the resources for all that in the Anganwadi centers and in the state education ministries? Another question has to do with the teachers and how are we going to fill the vacancies? Right now, there are already more than 10 lakh teaching vacancies at the school level alone. How are those? Where is the roadmap to fill them? Let's turn to higher education. There are lots of issues with regard to governance, which have already been raised, but I want to raise a couple of other questions. One is a question of scientific temper. We have seen time and again at national science congresses, at various institutional settings where a good statement could be made supporting and encouraging scientific temper. We have seen from the Prime Minister down a downgrading of scientific temper. You have had ministers who have mocked at the theory of evolution. That is the kind of culture that has been communicated from the very top. So scientific temper and the BJP do not go hand in hand, and it is a major concern for us on how this is going to be laid out and taken forward in the years to come. And finally, we talk about issues related to peer review and freedom of the National Research Council to make its own decisions in terms of ideas bubbling from the bottom and from individuals who are competing with one another to come up with innovations. But the track record of this government suggests that you will see centralization, you will see mandates from the top, you will see ideas that are different from what has been mandated from the top being questioned as anti-national. You will see these kinds of agendas that will dominate, and the promise of the National Research Council of free and fair innovation and idea exchange that will allow for new research and new knowledge creation, I'm not at all confident that it will happen under this government. There are numerous other questions. Let me raise one. One of the key challenges over the last many years has been that children have been abandoning schools and focusing on coaching institutes because of their desire to get into professional courses. And teachers have been abetting, and parents have been pushing them in that direction. This whole malaise is not addressed properly in this national education policy. What is there? In fact, as you make schools, you change the nature of school education, but you don't change the way the entrance exams are going to be conducted for professional courses. You're going to see more and more emphasis by parents and teachers on studying for the entrance exam, more emphasis on coaching institutes, and less on the holistic education that is envisaged in the schools. So unless we fix these problems, we will see huge challenges going forward. And that is, the questions that we've raised are all examples of a disconnect between the theory, the talk, and the reality. And unless the reality is paid attention to, unless we pay attention to the complexities of India and of the resource constraints that we have, of the challenges that we face in terms of who all go out there and set up educational institutions, and instead we keep mandating things and we keep threatening them with shutdown, we are going to see a lot of confusion. We cannot play games with our children's futures. We cannot play games with our potential demographic dividend. It is important for these issues to be debated, for a constructive roadmap to be drawn up, and we are ready to give our inputs to make sure that the children of India and their future is not sacrificed by an impractical government and a national education policy that is disconnected from India's realities. Thank you.
नमस्कार दोस्तों,